Hi, this is Dhiraj Singh, your lockdown chef once again. And as you would have guessed that I have a special penchant for making these mixed culture dishes which are from all over the place. So today, going in that same tradition, I'm going to fix you a very unique dish called Matar Paneer Ravioli. So as you know, I like to do everything from scratch, and therefore I'm going to make my ravioli by hand at home. As you would have guessed, our main ingredient is maida, all-purpose flour. So we'll take a cup of that. So essentially there are two methods of making pasta at home. One is when you use egg and the other is using oil. So I'm going to follow the latter method, which is using oil, which is a totally vegetarian way of making your ravioli at home. Try not to use a highly flavored oil like mustard or olive. Just a basic non-smelly, non-flavored oil would do. A little bit of salt. Remember, this needs to be very tough dough, not very soft and pliable, so make sure you use enough oil and less water. So this is about 15 to 20 ml of oil and some room temperature water, and we mix it. You can see it's incorporated all the oil and whatever little water I added. So as you can see, a nice, not too soft dough. I'm going to let it rest for some time. Leave it covered with a wet cloth. While my pasta dough rests, I'm going to make the filling. So this is my boiled matar, green peas, which I'm going to lightly, roughly crush. It's already boiled. It's frozen matar that I've used. So I'm just going to crush it a little, roughly. And now I'm going to crush some paneer in it and add to it. Usually the ravioli uses ricotta cheese, but paneer is the closest substitute that we have. In fact, it's the best substitute for ricotta. And so I add about 100 grams. Just break it down and mix it into your matar. Salt to taste and some pepper. Now is the most exciting part, which is rolling the pasta. So our dough has been sitting for half an hour and it's nice and supple, not too supple, just the way we want it. So we are going to just take half of this dough, keep the rest covered, back again, and we are going to roll our ravioli. Just make sure that it's dusted before. And what we'll try to do is we'll try to make it a nice rectangular roll. A good idea of the thinness is that when you can start seeing the translucent color of your board below. And now we have a rectangular part laid out. So I'm going to take about a teaspoonful of my filling, of my Matar Paneer filling, and just place it at one strategic place. Make sure there is enough distance from each scoop that you lay down. Now we have 4 scoops. Just bring the filling right in the center. And now we'll just add a little of water around the edges so that when we are sticking the pasta together, encasing the filling, it's going to be nicely joined. And now the part where I fold it like a book. Make sure you press the sides so there are no air pockets, because if there are air pockets, it might burst out while you're boiling it. And if in case there are air pockets, what you can do is you can puncture it gently and then press it back again. So I take a serrated edged cutter to give my ravioli a nice looking border, and I just cut it from the sides where I've joined. Give it another cut and another. Now these portions, which are the extra bits, I'll use again in my next batch. So I'm making a couple of batches of ravioli because I know my official taster is really hungry. So my ravioli is done, and now it's time for me to cook the sauce. For the sauce we need cherry tomatoes, butter, chopped garlic and green olives. So first I've just put a blob of butter. This would be a teaspoonful of butter. Just let it go all over the place on the pan. When the butter is nicely melted, I add my chopped garlic. It's nice to have a nice garlicky pasta. So just let the garlic sweat. We don't want to brown it too much, so when it's bubbling, that's time to put your cherry tomatoes in. When the pan is hot, the cherry tomatoes will nicely singe from the skin, but we don't want them to just singe, we also want them to cook from the inside. So after singeing it a bit, we reduce the flame to medium and let them cook nicely. And they look yummy. And now to thicken the sauce, I'm just going to add a wee bit of maida to it. And keep it on low flame and add a wee bit of milk. It's not really a wee bit, but yeah. So this mixture is going to form my nice and creamy white sauce. I'm not adding cream to it, but my white sauce is made of milk and maida. Keep stirring it on low flame. Add salt to taste and pepper. My sauce is almost ready. I'm going to top it with olives, fresh green olives, fresh from the bottle actually. That is about a tablespoon of olives, and our sauce is all ready. It's a nice tangy, buttery, tomatoey sauce which will go really well with our Matar Paneer ravioli. So my sauce is ready, and now I'm going to cook the pasta, which is going to be cooked separately in boiling water, to which I add a bit of salt. My water is all ready and boiling. I'll quietly slip in the ravioli, put it on simmer and quietly slip it in. They're going to sink to the bottom, but once they're done, they're going to come up, which actually is an indication of them being done. See, they're already floating up. It doesn't take much for the pasta to get cooked because it's fresh pasta. It's not pasta that you've purchased from the market. So it cooks faster, it tastes better, and you feel a lot of pride of having made it yourself. We are about to mix our ravioli with the sauce and see the magic happen. We make sure the water is all out and then we gently slide them into the sauce. Again, the same thing repeated with the others of the lot. So I'm just mixing my ravioli and sauce together, and then we are ready for the official tasting.
I'm the official taster. What is this, Rishi?
It's called Matar Paneer Ravioli. How is it, Kazuo?
It's amazing.
The best thing about it is that the pasta is homemade. It's not from a packet that DC opened and cooked. So
Yeah.
that's the best part. It's fresh pasta, as fresh as you can get at home.
Yeah, I taste the pasta.
Take
and
another bite.
This as well. I'll take a big bite.
Yeah, and you can gobble up the tomato as well. How is it now?
Wow, it's really amazing.
So now, let me also take a bite and see whether what you're saying is actually true. Though usually I trust your judgment, but this time, let me have a bite as well. It is really gorgeous, and you must try it at home, especially if you're a vegetarian and have nothing to do with eggs or chicken.